Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Tina of Tina's Country Door. I'm going to show you how to make a flower wreath on Dollar Tree's bicycle wheel frame. What you will need is I have 24 dark purple 10 by 10 petals, 36 light purple 10 by 10 petals, and 36 white 10 by 10 petals, and they're all metallic. I have my center that I made. There is a video that I posted on my Pinterest page showing how I made this center if you want to go check that out. The link to my Pinterest page is in my bio. If you're not following me on there, then you're missing a lot of content that I'm sharing over there. Also, you'll need zip ties, a couple floral pins, a glue gun with a glue stick, pliers to pull your zip ties, and clippers to clip your zip ties, or a cable tie gun. I will leave affiliate links in the description below to items that I'm using if you want to go check those out. Before I get into the tutorial, I want to remind you, if you haven't already subscribed, please do, and don't forget to hit the bell to get notified when I post more videos. Also, if you're not following me on my other social media sites, you should go check those out and give me a follow. For the first 3 rows on this frame, all of the petals are going to be folded the same. I'm using the metallic white and the metallic light purple. Also got my elastics, which are optional if you want to use them. I got them, you can get them at Walmart or the Dollar Tree. It's like $1 for 500. I use them because I pre-make my petals before I put them on the frame, so it's just helpful to have these to hold my petals while I'm making all of them. So you don't have to use them. It depends on how you put your flower together. You can just use chip clips if you have those, or a clothespin or something like that. So I'm going to show you how to make the petal for the first 3 rows on the frame, and then show you how to attach it to the frame. So first is the metallic white, cut 10 by 10 in a diamond shape, curled up. And you want to be consistent with all of your petals. So I've already got a petal on the frame, and with that first petal, my factory edge was up in the left hand corner. So I want to make sure with every petal after this, that these first 3 rows, all of my petals start with the factory edge in the upper left hand. So all I'm going to do is bring the top and bottom tip to meet, and then walk in, pinch it, and bring it around like that, flip it over, and then bring those to a point. Then I'm going to get an elastic to hold this for me while I make the light purple petal that I'm going to put over this. Now the light purple, again, the petal is diamond shaped, curled up, factory edge in the upper left hand corner. Bring the top and bottom tip to meet, walk it in, and in this one I'm going to twist it. Get that in front and put it over the white petal. Get my elastic to hold this while I get the frame ready to put this on. So that is what your petal is going to look like, the first 3 rows on the frame. Now when you go to put the petals on, you want to make sure you go in the direction to where the factory edge is going to cover the raw edge of the previous petal. So that's why I go clockwise. And to put the petal on this outer rim, I use 2 zip ties. I cross over, I'll show you as soon as I get this zipped. I cross over, if you can see, the petal is lopsided. I use a second zip tie to straighten it. I go in the opposite direction to do that. To pull it straight. So that gives me a crisscross in the back. right there. I get it crisscross. So I'm going to put this first row on, and then I will come back and show you how to attach the petals in the second and third row. I have all of the first row put on. Now, like I said in the beginning, the first 3 rows, the petals are going to be made the same way, but I want to show you how to put the second and third row of petals on. You only use 1 zip tie instead of 2, and you just put it around that bar. Stick that nub in there through the zip tie and zip it. I've made other flowers on this frame. I'll leave links to the other videos where I've made flowers on this frame in the description. But I've had people ask me, how do I know how to space the petals or the rows? Here's the nub of the first row of petals. So the next row of petals, the second row of petals, I just push this up until that nub is nestled in that set of petals in the second row. Then I'll do that with the next row and the next row. So that's how I space my rows out. I'm going to do the next 2 rows just like I did the first row and add them to the frame. Then I will come back for the last row of petals. It's going to be different. So I will be back when I get these put on. For the last row of petals, I'm doing the dark metallic purple. You light the mesh, diamond shape, factory edge up here, bring the top and the bottom corner to meet, walk in, get, twist, and then get an elastic to hold this while you make the second one. The second petal is going to be done the same way, but I'm going to add 2 together and then put them on the frame. So it is 2 dark purple petals per each bar that's on the frame. Get my zip tie, show you how I'm going to put it on the frame. Just take your zip tie around the bar. Usually I already have these on here. You can go ahead and put them all on or whatever is more comfortable for you to do. So I'm going to take the 2 petals that I made and slide them in this 1 zip tie. And I want to pull the front one clockwise so that the factory edge will cover the raw edge on the back petal. And then the next petal will cover the raw edge on this one, and so on. So that's how I'm going to add the last row, and then when we come back, I will do the center of the flower. and I was not happy with it. It just seemed all off to me. It was wonky and I couldn't get it straightened out. So I took the whole last row off, and now I am measuring and putting tape on this. I'm showing you how to measure the placement of your petals if you want to do this. You don't have to do this. There was only one flower I made where I used the blue tape before. So usually I don't have a problem with this, but I think it's just this mesh. You have to decide how far apart you want your petals. So I'm just showing you how I'm doing it, but you have to make your own creative judgment. From the center, it is almost 7 inches. It's 6 3/4 of an inch. And I've come 2 inches from the outside down the bar, put my first piece of tape. Now here is one edge of the tape, and here's the other edge of the piece of tape. I'm going to take my the line, and line it up to this side of the tape. Come down 2 inches, and I will put my other piece of tape here. And that's why when I push that zip tie up, it's going to catch on that blue tape. And for the last row, I'm going to measure, put the 2 right here at the edge of the tape. And so here is the edge of the blue tape. I got that lined up with the 2. Right here is where my last piece of blue tape will go. And now I'm going to do this all the way around. So those are the measurements that I use. Just doing what looks best to me. Didn't look good to me when I hung it up. And when something doesn't look good to me, I can't just leave it. I have to fix it until I'm happy with the way it looks. That's just how I am. And I decided I'd just show you the behind the scenes so you guys will know everything's not perfect. Just because you see the perfect video on YouTube or Pinterest or whatever doesn't mean that it always goes perfect. And I just wanted to show you that in case anyone tries to make a wreath and it just isn't working for you, and you might get frustrated, say, well, then, you know, they make it look so easy. It is easy, but that doesn't mean we still don't have problems. Sometimes we run into things that just don't work right, that we have to work around. The thing is not quitting and working around it, finding a way to work around it and making it work for you until you're satisfied with what you have. So I guess that's just my motivational speech for today. Now I'm going to get back to doing this. With the last row, instead of using all 24 of the petals, I decided to only use 12, and that's because 24 crowded it too much and I thought it was too thick. So you can use your creative discretion on whether you would want to put 24 petals in there or 12. I like the 12 better. I'm going to be putting the center on, and this is the center that I'm using. I have a video making this center. I will put a link to the video in the description. To add a center to the wreath, you'll need 2 floral pins and 2 zip ties. And with the floral pins, I'm going to clip them off a little bit because they're too long. If I stuck them in like this length, they would go through the styrofoam. So I'm going to clip those off a little bit. And I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not measuring it or anything. And I do my best to find the center of the styrofoam. Figure out where I want to stick these in. Push them in. Get my holes where I want them before I add glue. Then I will take them out and put glue there. And stick those back in there. Stick it back in there and try not to get burnt. I have to let this glue cool before I put the zip tie through the floral pins, because if the wet glue or the glue gets on the zip tie and then it hardens the zip tie, I won't be able to pull the zip tie. I won't be able to zip it. So I had to let these cool. While I'm letting those cool, I'm going to get the frame ready to add the center. To do that, all I need to do is on the frame, in between the bars, find straight across so that I can make sure I get the center on center. So I'm just going to run the zip tie through one and bring it to the other. And I'm going to start this on the back because I'll need to zip it from the back. So I'm just starting it, I'm not zipping it because I'm going to need that loose to attach the center to that. The glue's hardened, so now I'm going to run my second zip tie through the floral. Then I'm going to run the end of this zip tie through the zip tie already attached to the wreath and start to zip it. I'm going to take my then I'm going to take these and I'm going to zip this one all the way. And I needed to leave the one I put on the frame loose so that I can put this under here to zip that, to clip that zip tie off. Now I'm going to flip this over and pull this zip tie. You don't have to pull these all the way. If I have petals that I want to flare out, I don't pull it all the way. I like my center. I don't want them pushing the petal. So use your creative discretion on if you want to zip it all the way or not. It's on there. It's not going to come off. See? So I wouldn't worry too much about that. Now it's time to add the back. I am using a placemat out at the Dollar Tree. I didn't have purple, but I have pink. So that's what I'm going to use. And that's okay because this is going to be on the back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this using 4 zip ties. I'm going to put one here and then go straight across, put another, one here and go straight across and put another. And I'm just going to find this place on the mat and run the zip tie through it and make sure I pull it through the bar on the frame. Now I start zipping it. I don't zip it all the way right away. Again, slide that through. Make sure you get it around the bar because I have thought I had gotten it around the bar and I didn't. So try to double check that. You can hear my dryer going on. Okay, now the reason I just start them is because I'm going to start zipping these, the ones that are straight across from each other at the same time, so that I don't want this side to get pulled over too far that way and then be stuck with the frame showing. I want to get it as level, even, whatever you want to say, as possible. So that's why I do that. I clip these off and I will turn the heads inside so that you can't see them and so that it won't scratch a door. What I use to hang my flowers depends on the flower. Like if I have a light flower, this is light. It's not really, it's really light. I use this. This is like so strong. I've used this stuff to tie up my tomatoes in my garden. So I'll just cut off some of this. You can tie a knot at the end of it. Take this, stick it, slide it through there, and then pull that up. And if that's too long, which this is too long, I'll see. Trying to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Oh, I think I just moved my camera. But where this is too long, I'll just go down a little bit and tie another knot. It's not a big deal. And then, see if I get that tied. And snip that off. That's all there is to it. Now if it was a heavy wreath, I would use zip ties or some twine. So it depends, how heavy my wreath is on what I use to hang it. Here's the flower. I love how the yellow pops against the purple. Do you like this flower? If you do, leave me a comment below. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. It helps push my videos to other people so they can learn how to make flowers. I'm going to leave links to all of my other social media sites in the description below. Until next time, bye everyone.